Thanks everybody for coming out today. So I'm a local author. I live in Collingswood, and for 7 years, as she mentioned, I taught down the street at Haddonfield High School. And I'd always wanted to write, and when I was at Collingswood High School, I had a high school English teacher that really encouraged me to write. There's this great story I remember, and I was not the best student in high school, and she encouraged me to enter this poetry contest. And so I wrote all these poems, and I was very excited about it. I handed her the poems, and she said, you know, they have to be typed, you know? And so I said, I'm not typing them, you know, and I just walked away. Like, that was it. And I think about that story now, and if any of my students had done that to me, it would have been, you know, game over, that was done. But she took them home and typed them up and entered me into the contest, and I went, and it was something, I think it was at Rutgers or something, and you'd go and a professor would read your poems. And so I went into a conference, and he read my poems, and he basically told me that they were the worst poems he's ever read in his entire life. They were terrible. But there was something about getting that feedback that really hooked me. And I liked it, you know, I liked having people read my work and take it seriously, and something right then and there, like, I knew I wanted to write, but I was afraid to tell people that. And so I went to college, and I at LaSalle in North Philly, and again, I was an English major, but also an education major, and I was afraid to tell people I wanted to be a fiction writer, so I became a high school English teacher, and I taught for 7 years. And I felt like I was a good English teacher, but I loved the kids, and I loved working with them, but there was something inside of me that just wasn't happy. And I kind of fell into this depression where I just knew I wasn't doing what I wanted to do. And it took a long time for me to come to the point where I said that I could give up a tenure position, a house, a mortgage, and just walk away from everything. And one night my wife sat me down, she's over there, right back there, Alicia, and she said, you have to make a change. And I said, well, how am I going to do that, right? You know, I had bills to pay, a mortgage, all these things. And she said, well, let me call my parents. And so she got on the phone and said, you know, Mom, Dad, how do you feel about this plan? She said, maybe we'll quit our jobs and sell the house, and we'll move in with you, and Matt will write in the basement for a couple of years, and we'll just see what happens. And, you know, they said, sure, come on up. And it was this great gift that I really didn't appreciate at the time. And I always tell people that writers are people who look at things from the outside. They look at it from the outside in, and they write about those things. And so when I went to Massachusetts, for the first time I was not around this area anymore. And it gave me quite a unique perspective. Also, I really missed this area, the Philadelphia area. So I decided to set my book actually in Collingswood and in Philadelphia. And I was able to write in a way that allowed me to go home. You know, I was very homesick, and so I was able to come home that way. And, you know, I started writing from the heart. I never knew if it would really go anywhere. I was telling people that it would go somewhere, but deep down inside I wasn't sure. When I started to pitch, it was very precarious, and I think I racked up 70 rejections from agents before I finally found somebody to take the book. And the book actually sold in Italy first, which was quite strange, and I still have no idea why I'm so popular in Italy. My friends, when it sold, were joking with me. They said, oh, you know, they call me Q. They said, Q's big in Europe. He's the David Hasselhoff of literature. And it became like this big joke. But somehow I found my way to FSG, and then the movie rights sold, and we sold in the UK and Spain, and things started to take off. So I'm very happy to be here.